All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahawakah Kodash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to the elect, Lord willing, with some of those men and women that believe in fear in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yeah, my brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson was inspired by a title in which Apostle Gabar had mentioned in a video that he did yesterday, entitled Revealing the Mark of the Beast. Well, actually, it was entitled Daily Live Stream, February 9, 2026, 7 scriptures proving a conspiracy fact, not a conspiracy theory. And in this particular portion of the video, Elder Apostle Gabar had mentioned this, and I'm gonna play it real quick.
That's bullshit, man. That's straight up bullshit. Now in the kingdom, we're gonna have freedom, 100% freedom in the kingdom. So it's worth waiting for the kingdom. It's worth waiting for the kingdom. That's a video right there.
Yeah, it's worth waiting for the kingdom, and that's the title of this lesson. Right, it's worth waiting for the kingdom, because this world that we're currently living in, it's about to be destroyed. Right, putting your trust in your heart, which is your mind, putting your spirit into this world, it's a losing battle. It's a failed investment, because Yahweh Shai Shai's judgment for this place is that it's going to be destroyed. Right, America, the state of Israel, and particularly all of Esau's society, his world, his kingdom, his rulership. And so this is why we looking forward to a better rulership, right? As the scripture says right here in the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse right here, chapter 3, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Because this world that we currently live in, righteousness doesn't dwell here. And we see it. We see it everywhere we turn. There's unrighteous dealings, there's injustice, there's wickedness. Wickedness is pervasive upon this earth. And it's gotten to a point now, like, if you're not wicked in this society, it's been like that. If you're not wicked, you can't make it in this world. Right? It's hard for you if you try to stand up for justice and what's right, what's truly right, right? If you try to stand up for your own people, you're called a racist, right? Which the Most High, Yahweh Shai, is a racist. He's all about his people. And ain't nothing wrong with being that. But in this world, it's demonized, because those that are in power use their power to abuse those they oppress, right? And the ones that are truly oppressed in this world are the Israelites, us. Right, so why wouldn't we want a better world, a better rulership? Esau told us during slavery that if we're looking for a better world, we got to die to get it. We got to go into heaven, to the spirit world, and that's where we'll get our reward. But as long as we here under his rule, we're going to be oppressed. He going to do whatever he want with us, right? And who wants that? Who wants to constantly be oppressed at every turn? Now the curses, they're levied upon us before our iniquities. But Esau and the other nations, they forward it, right? The scripture says that they forward our affliction, right? The book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 15. Zechariah 1 and 15, it says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, which also means peace, right? For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction of who? Of the Israelites, of us, right? Everywhere we turn in society, we're constantly reminded of our oppression, whether it be our enemies creating movies and TV shows and jokes about our captivity here in America, whether it be them making fun of how they destroyed our brothers and sisters, the Gadites, the Issacharites, the Reubenites, the Issacharites, so-called Mexicans, so-called Native Americans, so-called Seminole Indians, of off the land so that they could take it. By what? Deceit, right? They make jokes about it. The other nations, they make jokes about our oppression, right? They make jokes about our visage. They make us a proverb and a byword. This is not a world to live in. The Lord didn't create this world for us to constantly endure this kind of shit, right? This world was made for our sake. It wasn't made for the others' sake. So that's why the kingdom is worth waiting for, because the world to come, it's going to be our world. Like Elder Apostle Gabar said in the brief intro right here, he said, what? In our kingdom, we're going to be 100% free. We're going to be truly free, right? And that's worth waiting for, because if you think you're free in this world, you're lying to yourself. If you think your money is making you free from the oppression and from the curses that have been levied upon us, you're lying to yourself. If you think that your finances and your accolades and your persuasion over people is making you free in this world, you're lying to yourself. You got to sell out to Esau, which means you basically got to follow his mode of operandi. You got to worship his idols. You got to worship Satan. You got to sacrifice people. You got to drink blood. You got to do all of these satanic rituals behind the scenes, and then lie to your own people and make them think that you made it through sheer hard work and ability. And it's a lie, right? The people of our nation, they're nothing more than a puppet for Esau to do what he want on his side. This ain't a world to live in. This ain't a world that you want to keep going on, right? Your families are destroyed, right? There's no cohesion. There's no trust, right? This is the world we live in. So why wouldn't we want a better world? Why wouldn't we want a place in wherein dwelleth righteousness, right? Why wouldn't we want that? You should want that. So yeah, the kingdom is worth waiting for. Here it is in this world. They want to put a chip in you. In this video was a great video of the Apostle Gabar was breaking down the conversation between Aaron Russo and Alex Jones, and Aaron Russo was saying like the goal of the ruling elite, the banking families, is what? To fit everybody with an RFID microchip. That's slavery. We already in captivity as it is, slavery. Now we on wage slavery, where we got to pay for our slave quarters, right? That's something that's written in this article called The Hazard Circle. The Hazard Circular, right? It was I used to have one, I'm trying to get it. Slovakia. The Hazard Circular, where it says this. This is from like the 1800s. It was a letter or something like that. The history of the Hazard Circular. It says slavery is likely to be abolished. This is the elite talking to each other, right? Saying what? This is 3 years before the Civil War happened, showing you that they were already preparing for a civil war in America, because they wanted to transition from the Southern planters and agriculture, slavery, not just slavery, but the slavery work system to a wage slaving, right? Where everybody be in slavery, not just the so-called Negroes. But if you living in this world, you have to earn a wage, and that would be your new captivity. And you'll be so concerned with your daily captivity that you won't even be concerned about what's really going on around you, right? So it says slavery is likely to be abolished by the war power and chattel slavery destroyed. This I and my European friends, which these are all Edomites, are in favor of, right? For slavery is but the owning of labor and carries with it the care of the laborer, while the European plan led by England is capital control of labor by controlling wages. This can be done by controlling the money, and this is how the super elite operate. They control the world via their money system. That money system is truly a satanic system. That's another reason why the kingdom is worth waiting for, because we want to have a righteous money system, right? It's going to be on gold and silver. It ain't going to be no fiat currency. There's not going to be no microchip where people are chipped up and have to own nothing and be happy. That's not going to happen, right? You're going to get paid the same day you work. You ain't going to have to wait 2 and 3 weeks for your shit to process and then you get your first check. You ain't going to have to wait 2 and 3 weeks to get your allowances, your monthly payments for your daily job. You're not going to have that. And it's going to be in gold or silver, right? We're not going to be hoarders of gold and silver because they all got their purpose, right? We're going to have so much gold that we can walk on it. We're going to have so much gold that we can sleep on it. We can eat in it, eat with it. And that silver too, because those things are plentiful for the body. So again, the kingdom is worth waiting for. It ain't worth selling out for a temporary. Anything you get on this side is temporary because this place is going to be destroyed. So going back into this, they decided, they came to an agreement that, look, we'll end slavery because with it comes the worrying of the labor, right? The care of the laborer, which basically means they had to house you, feed you, put clothes on you. You know what I'm saying? And all you had to do was work. That's how America was able to get so rich off of all this free labor. But guess what? In our kingdom, there's going to be free labor. That first 1,000 years is going to be free labor from all these nations. They're going to work, right? And that's part of their judgment. But that's going to end. We're not going to forward their affliction. They're going to get to go back to their lands. And it's not even about them. That's just a righteous thing to do. Unlike what they did to us, showing you that we're better rulers. Going back to something that Apostle Gabar constantly pushes towards us is what a ruling class mentality, right? And he shows living examples of how the banking elite, they got a ruling class mentality, right? Even though, but it's in wickedness, and we're going to have a ruling class mentality and righteousness. That's why Apostle Gabar said, what? The kingdom is worth waiting for. It truly is, because we're going to have our opportunity to rule forever. Our kingdom is going to be eternal, right? It's not going to never end, right? Well, let's get that real quick. This is the book of Daniel. Oh, actually, I might want to go back to this. Excuse me. Go back to this. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18. The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18. I'll start at 13. The Son of Man presented. I saw in a night vision, and behold, one like unto the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. This is Yahushua coming with the angels and the chariots, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. So he came to the Most High, to his Father Yahweh, and there was given him dominion. So the Heavenly Father is given Yahushua dominion, and nobody can take that dominion away. You can't coax him out of that. He's not going to have a joint dominion or rulership with the heathens. It's his, and he's going to have a joint rulership with his brothers, the elect men of Israel, the first fruits, right? Lord willing, with some of those men. It says, so the Most High gave him dominion. Now we just waiting for it to manifest on this side. And there was given him dominion and glory in a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. And that's what's going to happen. That's another reason why the kingdom is something worth waiting for, because Yahushua is coming back, right? And these nations, they're going to serve us. These people with different languages, they're going to serve us too, right along with Yahushua, King David, the rest of the 12 apostles, and the rest of the elect, and all Israel, because our people will never have to work. That's another reason why the kingdom is worth waiting for. You won't have to work. No more working. Right here it is. You work and think that that's your life, right? I earn an income. I earn a decent wage, going back to wage slavery, which they talk about in the Hazard Circular, right? You earn a decent wage and you think that that's living because you can get resources or access to resources via your coupons they call FRNs, Federal Reserve Notes, because that's all they are. Empty paper, right? That don't mean nothing. Right? In our kingdom, we ain't going to have to worry about that. The nation's going to serve us in every way. Right? And if they don't, they'll be destroyed. But either way, they're still going to serve us, so it doesn't matter. And there was giving him giving him dominion and glory in a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away. And his kingdom, that which shall not be destroyed. So this is going to be an eternal kingdom. This ain't going to be a part-time thing. This ain't going to be a 600-year thing. It ain't going to be a 1,000-year thing. It's going to be a forever thing. Whereas this kingdom, this is a temporary place. right? America has been established as a nation, so-called nation, a country, since 250 years ago. In our kingdom, 250 years not even going to be a milestone marker for us in our kingdom. That's like a quarter of a day. You know what I'm saying? So 250 years, we're not even kicking in strides yet. We just, still whipping ass and taking names. You know what I'm saying? But our kingdom is going to last forever, right? Whereas we serve these nations in captivity because of our iniquities, but we had to serve these nations for millennia at times. You know what I'm saying? At different various times during different millennia. And all these nations had us in captivity, but we have never got any payback for that yet. We ain't get to put them down. We ain't get to take them from their lands and make them work for us. We ain't get to strip them of their so-called identity the way they did us, their languages. Well, that's going to happen. And really, we ain't stripping them of their identity. They're going to get their biblical identities back. So all these false identities that Esau has created for them and they themselves, that's going to be destroyed. There's not going to be such thing as, Polynesian, Micronesian, Melanesian people in our kingdom. It's going to be straight up Japhites. Those are Japhites. There ain't going to be no such thing as the white man in our kingdom. There's going to be Edomites. There ain't going to be no such thing as Africans. Because that's not the name of them people. Those are Hamites. And any of our people that's pulled up out of them, those are the Israelites. So there ain't going to be no Chinese people. They're going to be Moabites. Ain't going to be no Japanese people, Ammonites, Koreans. Those are a mix of both of them. So they going back to their nations and so forth and so forth. Ain't going to be no Arabs, which means mixed people. Nope, it's going to be the sons of Ishmael to their particular tribe, down to their tribes. They're going to have to be consolidated amongst each other. Salaki, give me a second. You're bear with me, brothers. Salaki about that. Okay, so here it is. In our kingdom, it's gonna be forever land. Never, ever, never land for real. Never meaning never ever ending. I think Elder Itazawan had a preset. Let me get it real quick. Hey, shalom to the Elder Itazawan for tuning in, and all you brothers. I know it's early wherever y'all at in the world, but he posted Isaiah. This is from GMS Fruit of Knowledge, by Yah 3573. Isaiah 25:7, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Exactly, and that starts here in America via the truth, right? This truth, we're showing you nations who you truly are, right? So going back into Daniel chapter 7, and let's keep on reading. It says, verse 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Right? So nobody's going to no nation's going to rise up against us ever again. First of all, we're going to be 100% righteous, but I'm going to get that in a little bit. Right? But no nation is ever going to raise up against us no more. Right? One, because we ain't going to be sinning. The only reason why these nations were raised up against us, right, was to correct us. That's what the Lord used them for, and they took advantage of that. Right? They didn't even know that they were being raised up to correct us. When the Lord gave them power and to dominate the earth, they dominated the earth in their pride, notwithstanding that the Lord raised them up so that He could punish us, but also so they can be punished. So this is in the AMP, Daniel 7:18. But the saints, believers of the Most High, this is the elect. will receive the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever for all ages. So it's never going to stop. And that's something to look forward to, because the world that we currently live in is extremely temporal, right? It's extremely temporal. It's not, nothing here lasts a long time, not even man, right? You die at a certain point in this world, right? And not in this current world, especially with all the abominable things that happen, you know, you'd be lucky to make it to 70. In our kingdom, if you're 70 years old, you're like a child. Like you ain't, I mean, you're a grown man, but you ain't lived nothing. You ain't lived nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't really did nothing in our kingdom. If you're 70 years old, if you're 100, if you're 500, if you're 1,000, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be living eternally. And that's something that people can't see here. Like they have a temporal mindset. They don't see the eternal, right? That's go back to them being in a beast mindset, right? But going back to 2 Peter chapter 3, I'll read verse 10. I know I had jumped to 13, but this is beautiful, right? It says, 2 Peter 3:10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. The heavens don't mean the sky or the earth or space. It means this rulership. Heaven is a rulership. The rulership of these nations is going to pass away with what? A great noise, with nuclear fire. Once those nuclear missiles go off, it's over for the Gentile nations. It's no coming back from that. Not because all your technology is supposedly destroyed, not because the vast majority of people not because all the people in America are destroyed except for the elect that are saved, or what you think is the vast majority of the people on the earth through fire. It's because the rulership, right? This heathen rulership, excuse me. Okay. This heathen rulership is not going to last forever. It's going to burn, it's going to melt away. It's going to burn when Yahushua come. Yahushua come as a thief in the night, meaning you don't know the hour or time or day he's coming. But we're looking for it because we're measuring the time diligently. So to us, it's not going to come as a thief in the night, but to the rest of the world, it is. It's going to feel like it just came out of nowhere, you know? So like, it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, as a thief in the night, the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, right? The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Let's see what this says in the AMP, right? It says in the AMP, but the day of the Lord will come as unexpectedly as a thief. Then the heavens will pass away with a terrible noise. The very elements themselves will disappear in fire. And everything that's in America is made up of, everything on the earth is made up of elements. And all of this shit gonna burn. You see these $1 million homes, right? You see these big mega mansions, right? You see these big mega mansions in California, right? All of this shit right here, this shit's gonna burn the fuck up. Whereas in the world, we got to look at these things and just wish that we had something like this, because these things represent a better quality of life, right? You see these mansions and all of this land, right? This shit ain't no roaches and rats penetrating this shit, right? Ain't no pestilence taking over this. But the nuclear missile is going to destroy all of this shit. You got property this is in America, right? You got people living like Rothschild stepchildren. You know what I mean? Some of this shit look like comparable to Waterston Manor, right? Some shit like this, you know, just acres of land, right? You know, all of this is going to burn up because all of it is made of what? All this is made of elements, right? Where people sell their soul to get something like this, or, you know, do something wicked to obtain this, to live on this high level. And you like, damn, and it is beautiful, but it's going to be destroyed, right? You see people driving around in what do you call those Rolls Royces, right? Right, Rolls Royce Spectre, right? You see people, this shit gonna burn the fuck up because this shit can't fly, it can't teleport, it can't do nothing. It runs off electricity, right? Gas. Some of them run off of gas. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, sell out, bend over, take it up the booty hole so they can drive one of these shits, manipulate, scheme, you know, all of this shit's gonna be burnt up. Mind you, people work in wickedness their whole lives to obtain shit like this, bro. Right? And even your family, right? Black family. Right? Black family, all your family too. They're made up of elements too. Granny, grandpa, all them people, all of these niggas, right? Niggas doing the electric slide, going to die. Right? Because this world is a temporary place, right? Even if the nuclear bombs didn't come hastily, these people would die over time. And they think that that's just a natural way of life because you know they look at themselves as like the other nations, but we're not. In our kingdom, you're never going to die. To see your family multiply, it'll look like this. These are you know, this could be one little man's family, man. They said a small one's gonna be 1,000. You know what I'm saying? This could be one brother's family, right? Then you got all the rest of these people. Shit, all these people on here can be just one brother's family come out of the seed of one man, you know? And they're gonna live forever. They're gonna be forever, right? But they prefer this temporary world over an eternal one. But this place is gonna be what? It shall be burnt up, right? Let me go back to that in the AMP. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as unexpectedly as a thief. Then the heavens will pass away with a terrible noise, and the very elements themselves will disappear in fire, and the earth and everything on it will be found to deserve judgment, right? And that's what's happening. Judgment is coming to this earth, all right? Because of what? All the wickedness, all the evil, right? It says, nevertheless, seeing it, verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought we to be in all holy conversation and godliness, right? And in AMP and NLT, it says, since everything around us is going to be destroyed like this, what holy and godly lives should we live? Because us living holy and godly lives brings us closer to our power and will keep us protected in those days, knowing that all these things, they're going to be burnt up. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter. Everything here is a temporary glory anyway. It ain't permanent. Even the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers got to go through that. They'll live to be like 100 years old, but then he in a fucking wheelchair, and then now he's in a grave, right? He can't live forever. All of that wickedness, hundreds of years of wickedness, this nigga done did, and he back in the spirit world like he never left. And then when he comes back, now he gonna have to suffer for all the wickedness that he perpetrated against Yahweh Shema Shai's people, because he's an Edomite, right? So all of that, his thoughts, all of the things that he thought about, right? He prided himself on being a globalist, and he said he wouldn't apologize for that and all this other weird shit. Prince Philip, this demon right here, he said he want to come back as a disease, right? If he could come back, right? If he could come back, he said if he can be reincarnated, he wants to be a disease that kill people, man. That's some Edomite shit right there. They don't even hold their looks. He was always a devil, but as he got older, Satan just really starts showing up in his face, man. Child eaters, shit eaters, like to get their balls stepped on, blood drinkers. This dude right here, and these devils act like they got immortality in a bag. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, they don't have immortality. They're nowhere close to getting that ever, because in order to be immortal, you got to be righteous, and these devils ain't nothing righteous about them except that they're righteous wicked, meaning that they doing what they're supposed to do in wickedness. They're not righteous at all. They just perfectly wicked, right? He said he wanted to come back. Quote about reincarnation. Yeah, his quote about reincarnation. It says Prince Philip's quote about reincarnation as a deadly virus. It says that's a dumb. He's already a deadly virus. He was already a deadly virus. You Edomites are a deadly virus to everything. It says Prince Philip quote about reincarnating as a deadly virus to solve overpopulation resurfaces. Right? It says this bullshit. We ain't gonna have no fucking advertising in our kingdom either. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. I'm gonna read this as the quote is noted in the article of the Guardian newspaper in 2009, where some of Prince Philip's most controversial quotes are listed. Right? The full quote reads, "In the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to contribute something to solving overpopulation." That's another thing why the kingdom of heaven is worth living. I mean, worth waiting for, because ain't gonna be no such thing as overpopulation in our kingdom. It ain't gonna be no such thing, because the Lord created the earth to be inhabited, right? He have one of you brothers can bring the scripture up where it says the Most High had created the earth to be inhabited. Baba Gashah. I was gonna get it, but I wanna get this. Prince Philip's most controversial quotes. I want to hear it. I want to see what it says. But anyway, to an Edomite, the earth wasn't created to be fully inhabited. To an Edomite, the earth is only supposed to be for a few people, and that's it. Mainly them. Right? It ain't in his eyes, it's not for a man to proliferate on. It says women can't cook. It says this is some of his quotes. They call them quips. It says British. He says, and here are some of his most famous quips. In 1966, British women can't cook. What do you gargle with? Pebbles to Sir Tom Jones at the Royal Variety performance. And he says everybody was saying we must have more leisure. Now they are complaining that they are unemployed during 1981 recession. And you see, that's a double, man. Right? That's Satan for you. It says, you are a woman, aren't you? In Kenya, after accepting a small gift from a local woman, right? Because I guess they look like, they had the short haircut. If you stay here much longer, you'll be slitty-eyed. The group of British students during a royal visit to China. And this dude is a demon. He was a fucking demon. And how could you make this seem like this dude was the quintessential man? Like this, he has a daughter. They have a daughter. I believe her name is Anne, Princess Anne. This bitch right here, this demon, this monster, they can't hold on to their youth for too long, man. That shit slip out of their hands like melting ice cream, bruh. So this is the bitch. This is the bitch when she was a little younger with her ugly ass mother, right? She looked like this. Young versus old. Young versus old. In our kingdom, our women gonna look youthful forever. It's never gonna go out of they're never gonna get old and raggedy and ugly. It don't matter how old they are, they're gonna be fine as wine forever. Whereas these Edomites, they start out looking like something, but then as they get older and that wickedness start creeping up on them, they get uglier and uglier. Hey, look at this shit. She went from this. She wasn't even like top 10, but she was a whole lot better than when she is an older woman. She went from this to this, bruh, in no time. How old is this bitch? How old is this bitch? Let's see how old is Princess Anne. I'll go back to this bitch is 75 years old. Now let's look at a 75-year-old black woman. 75-year-old black woman. Healthy. You gotta make it healthy because not every 75-year-old black woman is healthy. So look at this. Look at this. Shorty right here, 70 years old. She like 30. She look 30. This old girl, she's 75. This woman right here is 75 years old, bruh. They don't Edomite look like that. They said that they got a saying black don't crack. Damn, this bitch is 70. Gorgeous as fuck, man. Even with the makeup making her look a little healthier and better, she's fine as fuck. Queen Anne don't look like this. She don't look like this. Look at this, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is what the Queen Anne looked like. I'm Queen Anne. Princess Anne. This bitch is ugly, bruh. She is not attractive at all. She used to be, you know. Our first Queen Anne, Princess Anne ugly. This bitch is disgustingly looking, bruh. She's disgusting, man. All them Edomites age like fucking milk, man. Look at this bitch. This was 75 years old, looked like as an Edomite. The bitch looked like 100. She looked like a fucking corpse. Right? We ain't got to worry about it in our kingdom. Our woman, she's 75, gonna be fine. Look like she's 20. You know what I'm saying? She's 75 years old is nothing to us in our kingdom, man. And you ain't gonna have to do all this fucking working out. You ain't gonna have to, everything's gonna be perfect. We're gonna be perfect. That's another reason why the kingdom of heaven is worth waiting for, bro. Because we're gonna be changed, right? Does it not say that? This is the book of the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50, Slakia, 15, verse 50. Now, this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, right? And we going to be changed. It says, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. So we're made of flesh and blood right now, right? We're going to be made flesh. They won't have flesh and blood in the kingdom, but we're made of the flesh in this body right here. This body gets weak. It gets old. As soon as you're born, you start dying. You start decaying. As you get older, you decay even more and more. And our kingdom is not going to be that way for Israelite. It says, so this corrupt body, this corruption, it can't inherit incorruption. So it has to be changed. But I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, meaning we shall not all die, but we shall be changed. The moment we hit the chariot, our body is going to be changed and our spirit going to go right into our new body. Like fast, man. It says in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible and shall be changed. Right? Even those that are sleeping in Yahushua right now, they're gonna wake up to immortal bodies. Right? It's not gonna be corruptible. We're not gonna be able to sin. We're not gonna be able to go off and rebel against our power anymore. Right? And in the twinkling of an eye, those that are still alive hit the chariots, boom, immediate change, man. Like it's gonna seem like it's crazy because I had to go get a procedure sometime not too long ago, and I had to go to sleep for it and shit. And when I close my eyes or whatever from the anesthesia and shit, it just felt like I had just closed them, and I think like an hour, maybe 45 minutes had passed through my procedure or whatever, and was over. But when I woke up, it felt like I had just fell asleep. Like it wasn't even like I had been asleep for a long time. You know what I mean? Well, that's how quick it's gonna be. Quicker than that. The change of our body is gonna be faster than that. But it's gonna be like just like that, right? In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible, which is this body, must put on incorruption. So we're gonna put on an incorruptible body, right? That's gonna house our spirit, which is our spirit's immortal. That's the thing, right? People in this world think that you just mortal and that's it. You just live once and you just go about your business and you never come back. But that's not true, right? Our spirit is immortal and it comes back through the different life cycles that we've lived, right? Every third and fourth generation, you come back and you got to live out your judgment. Well, in the kingdom of heaven, there's no more dying for the Israelites. No more dying. We're going to be immortal, right? This corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality, right? Again, these people, no matter what they do in this world, they can't live forever. No matter how much killing, destroying, stealing, lying, robbery, they can't live forever, man. Right? Let me get this precept right quick. This is from the brother Amar Kabal 89, Isaiah 45 and 18. It says, for thus saith the Lord that created the heavens, the Most High himself that formed the earth, the power himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yahweh. I am the Lord. There is none else. Right? So here it is. In this world, we got to listen to these Edomites have their forums, whether open or closed, talking about the resources of the earth are limited. Not in our kingdom. oh, the space is limited. Not in our kingdom, right? Or people are overpopulating the earth. Not in our kingdom, which the people don't even live on majority of the earth, man. How much of the earth, how much of the earth is inhabited by humans in percentage? Right? How much of the earth is inhabited by humans? Approximately, look, this nigga talking about some overpopulation. When it says right here, approximately 10% to 15% of the earth's total land surface is directly inhabited or heavily used by humans for cities, agriculture, and infrastructure. 10 to 15%. That's like 90 to 95% of the earth is not inhabited. It says right here, when accounting for all land, including areas with low density habitation and extensive agriculture, studies suggest that humans have altered up to 90% of the land ecosystem. Not humans, Edomites. This should be Edomites. Ain't no humans. Edomites have altered up to 90% of the land ecosystem through true built up urban areas, though true built up urban areas occupy much smaller percentages. The total surface area, since 71% of the earth is water, the 10%, 15% figure refers to specifically to the 29% of surface that is land. Right? So the earth was made to be populated, bro. Right? It wasn't made to be sparsely populated. Right? And that's for a reason. Because Yahweh Shah told us one of the first commandments he gave us is the what? Be fruitful and multiply. He gave that to men on the 5th day. And he also gave that to Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth after he flooded the earth. Be fruitful and multiply. You ain't got to worry about no abortions in our kingdom. You ain't got to worry about SIDS. What is it? Sudden infant death syndrome, right? You ain't got to worry about none of that shit in our kingdom. You're gonna live. You're gonna be born, and you're gonna live on this earth, right? And there's gonna be plenty of space to go around. Even as when America's destroyed, the earth's gonna roll to and fro like a drunkard, right? The earth's gonna expand. New land gonna come up out of the water. Right, me and a brother Kahan, we live out here in Hawaii. We're actually living on top of a mountain range, right? The islands of Hawaii, right? Hawaii are really the tops of an underwater mountain range of an underwater mountain. I know I spelled that wrong. Mountain range, right? Yeah. It says yes. The Hawaiian Islands are indeed exposed visible tips of a massive 250,000 plus kilometer long undersea mountain range, right? Look, this is a great example. Look at this. Look at all this land. This is land, brother. It's just in the water right now. Let me show you a better picture, a closer picture. This is good. Look at this shit, bro. We just live on a tip. We live on a tip of a mountain range, but this is all land, and it's gonna be fertile when it's gonna come up out of the water, right? And this is like this all over the earth, right? This place is like this all over the earth, not just Hawaii, but just showing you what's going on out here, right? You got Niihau. Oahu, this is where we live at. You got Kauai, Molokai, Maui, Hawaii, which is the big island. Look at this shit, bro. That's a mountain range, bro. And I'm sure it goes for miles and miles and miles, bro. If it came up out of the earth, man, this shit'd be crazy. We had to get off we had to find a way to get off the top of these mountains, bro. You see? And there's nothing for you. How about Shah to level some of this? And this is vast valleys, man. Valleys. So the earth has plenty of land, right? It's just that it's not inhabited, and we're not allowed to inhabit it because these Edomites, they want to keep you in densely populated cities, right? So miss me with all of that so-called land and shit. There's only a little bit of land and overpopulation, right? Because you Edomites, you take the resources and you hoard it to yourself. That's another reason why the kingdom of heaven is worth waiting for, because we're not going to just be hoarding up shit to ourselves. Yeah, things are going to come to us first, that tribute, and you nations going to be bringing your wealth to us, but it's a certain amount. You still going to be able to live, right? This is the book of 2 Timothy. Salakia. Yeah, I wanted to bring this out because, some people, some brothers, they get in this faith and they leave it for this temporal world because they don't want to deal with the harshness. Like this happened to Paul with this dude named Demas. This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 10. It says, for demons have forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica, the Cretans to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia, Salakia. So you got dudes that lead this truth because they love this present world, notwithstanding this present world is temporary, right? And that happens even today. You got men that were with us that we thought was solid, you know what I mean? And then they lead the truth. They got, for whatever reason, but they back in the world. They just there now. Notwithstanding, you did all that preaching and talking and prophesying, talking about America's gonna be destroyed. You know America's gonna be destroyed, bro. What the Lord took his spirit away from you because you weren't looking for the kingdom of heaven. You weren't truly looking for it. You weren't hastening the day. Let's go back to this. Let me see. Hastening. 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 Right. Thought it was here. So like, just bear with me. Hastening the day. Hastening the day. Right? Yeah, 2 Peter 3:12. I knew it was in 2 Peter. I had it. This is back in 2 Peter chapter 3. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse, where was he at? Let's go back to verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of our power, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And so we want this day to come, right? We're not praying that it don't come. We're not saying hold off for a couple years, Lord, till I get this job that I wanted or till I get this car. We trying to get the fuck up out of here, bro, as fast as possible. We understand prophecy has to happen. So, this world that we currently living in, it was made for many, but the world to come is made for few, right? It says, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, verse 1. It says, and he answered and saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few, right? This world is made for all these nations. They can do what they want. They got preferential treatment and rulership on it. The world to come is only made for the elect, starting with the elect of Israel, right? It's not made for all nations to do what they want. We're going to have 100% carte blanche, right? One of you brothers can look up that definition for carte blanche, right? How you spell carte blanche, right? Carte blanche. Yeah, carte blanche. Yeah, carte blanche, I just looked it up. Sorry, brother. It's carte blanche is French term meaning a blank card or white paper. It refers to having complete unconditional authority, full discretionary power. And that's what we're going to have in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to have unconditional authority. Yahushua said that he that endureth unto the end, the same shall I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with what? A rod of iron. We're going to have complete control. See, these devils, they want complete control, but they got to use deception, and they're going to use necessity and convenience to force a RFID microchip onto the people. And that's going to, these people are going to think that that's going to help them survive and move forward in the so-called new world order. But that's just going to have them destroyed. Right? And really the Bacon families want to do that because they want power over them. They want complete power, right? Total control. But we're going to have total control. It says it refers to having complete unconditional authority, full discretionary power, or unrestricted freedom. Hey, Elder Apostle Gabar said that in his lesson, brother. He said that, man. He said we're gonna have freedom, brother. Let me get that. Let me play what he said.
4/7, 24/7. Because that, as long as that chip is inside of you and you're alive, you are a slave. You are being controlled.
Yep.
Especially if you work for a company, they know what time you arrived at the job, what time you leave, how long you take your lunch break. They know everything, man.
Yep.
What kind of way is that to live? That's bullshit, man. That's straight up bullshit. Now in the kingdom, we're gonna have freedom, 100% freedom in the kingdom.
There it is. We're gonna have carte blanche in the kingdom, bro. That's a good lesson for a video. We're gonna have carte blanche, unrestricted freedom. You know, I sit at my computer some days, man. I'm into aviation, like private aviation, watching people fly planes and shit. Cause I like flight. You know what I mean? I would love to have that power. I don't have the ability to do that on this side. But in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna fly. I think the reason why I enjoy watching people fly is because there is a freedom to flying. Even though they gotta be on an ATC air traffic controller, you know, but that's a freedom to just get in your plane and just go somewhere you want to go. Whereas in here, you gotta save up money, you gotta work hard, you gotta take out a loan, you gotta pay it back, you gotta to get on a plane to sit next to hundreds of other people cramped up like sardines and shit, and you don't even know what's going in the cockpit. You don't know what they're doing up there. You don't know the pilot. You don't know nothing about him. You just blindly get in a fucking sardine can and fly thousands of miles and up in the sky and thousands of miles across the earth, right? But in our kingdom, every Israelite gonna have chariots. That's gonna be common for us. And we ain't gonna need no air traffic controllers to tell us how far we are in the sky, how low we are to the ground. If there's obstacles in our way, we ain't gonna need that shit. We just gonna be out, bro. We just gonna be gone, doing whatever we want to do on the earth. We're not gonna be restricted to a certain area or situation. It says unrestricted freedom to act as one wishes in a particular situation, right? You can't when you got your own plane, you can do what you want. You can fly whenever you want, right? As you wish. It is often used in context like professional projects, budgets, or decision making, and we're gonna have complete control in every project, professional budget, and when we want a palace created, and we ain't gonna have to have no budget. It's gonna no budget. It's gonna be a blank check. They just build it, right? Don't ask me how much. I don't need you to give me no running costs, because in this society, you get a house built, right? And that shit, it can run over a budget. And sometimes contractors, they make it run over a budget on purpose so they can get the extras. In our kingdom, it ain't gonna be no budget, and it ain't gonna be nobody lying to us telling us that they need extra, because no, just get it done. It better be perfect too, or you're gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying? That's how real it's gonna be for us. In our kingdom, we're gonna have carte blanche, man. Right? We're gonna have complete control, total control, total control. You know what I'm saying? Going back in the second Esdras chapter 8, it says, and he answered me saying that the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. It says, I'm gonna skip down a little bit. It says, verse 2, it says, I will tell thee a similitude to Esdras, as when thou asked the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world, right? Because in this world, it's hard to find gold. If you find a gold deposit, they trying to milk that thing. In our kingdom, gold gonna be as the dust. One of you brothers can post that precept. It's from, I think it's in Job, where it says the gold is gonna be as the dust of the earth. It's gonna be plentiful for us. You know what I'm saying? But in this world, it's not. And so, of course, this present world, it says, verse 3, there be many created, but few shall be saved. There be many Israelites created, but only few is going to be saved, right? It ain't going to be every Israelite saved this time. It's only the elect. And the elect, the remnant, is a whole lot less than the 2/3 that's going to be destroyed here in America. Right? So this world right here is it's letting us know that this world is temporary. It's made for few, but the world to come is made. I'm sorry, this world is created for many, but the world to come is for few. Okay. It says just bear with me. Just bear with me, brothers. I'm trying to find a precept. It was a precept about a drought. Just bear with me, brothers. I'm trying to look for it. I can't find it. Well, let me go to chapter 9. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 2nd Ezra 9 and 15. I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than them which shall be saved. Exactly. There be many more people that's going to perish in this world that's going to be saved, right? Because that's the judgment of the Lord. Again, that's why another reason why the kingdom is worth waiting for, bro. And these people, they're gonna come back, so it ain't a big deal. But Lord willing, we want to be a part. Yeah, this is why I went right here. We want to be a part of the world to come from the start, right? Verse 14. Then answered I and said, it says, I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than that which shall be saved. Verse 16, like as a wave is greater than a drop. And he answered me, saying, like as a field is, so is also a sea as the flowers be. Such are the colors also, such as the workman is such also the work, and the husbandman in himself, so is his husbandry also, for it was the time of the world. Right? It says verse 18, and now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. Right? Oh, that was pretty much it right there. That's what I wanted. Let me get that precept that the brother just posted online. This is Job chapter 22, verse 23. It says, if thou return to the Almighty, thou shalt be built up. Yep, and that's what we're doing. Thou shalt put away iniquity far from thy tabernacles. Then shalt thou lay up gold as dust, and the gold of Ophir as the stones of the brooks. So that's going, when we get into the kingdom, brothers, gold is going to be plentiful for us, bro. It's going to be everywhere, bro. You know, and that's a Edomite's wet dream, and he ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. He ain't gonna be able to take it. He ain't gonna be able to manipulate it, exploit it. None of that. He ain't gonna be ripping our streets up, our walls down, trying to get it. It ain't gonna be none of that. It ain't gonna be none of that. Our kingdom is gonna be 100% protected, right? The scripture says, "Well, we're gonna have streets of gold, bro." Let me get that. Streets of gold. Streets of gold. Streets of gold, right? Revelation chapter 21, verse 21. Revelation 21 is an inside joke. Revelation 21 and 21. It says, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls, every showing you that the people that's in Israel, they're not the Lord's people, because none of this is happening. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gates was one pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass, man. So that's how shiny our streets gonna be. And who's gonna be shining them up? The heathens. You better shine them up. It says, now the 12 gates were made of pearls, each gate from a single pearl. In the main streets was pure gold, as clear as glass. Right? And the AMP says, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each separate gate was of one single pearl. And the street Broadway of the city was pure gold, like transparent crystal. So you could see yourself in the streets. That's how beautiful it's going to be. And you trying to tell me that the kingdom, that ain't worth waiting for, it ain't worth suffering and catching the hell and going through the adversity, the affliction of adversity here to get to that? And it ain't about, oh, just because you're an Israelite, you're going to inherit it either way, so you get it both. No. You're going to have to learn death by pain. You ain't going to be able to take part in the first, the initial taking over the earth. You're going to be a baby. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be somebody's child. You're going to have to grow up, and then eventually you'll, get your hands, proverbially wet and shit, with these motherfuckers. But you ain't going to, listen, bro, it's best to have it it's best to be there when it first pop off. And that's with anything. If you're the first to get something, that's the best portion. Like if you're the third and fourth, you're the last person, that ain't it. That's not the way. So yeah, man, immortality is coming to us. A beautiful infrastructure. I was going to go into Isaiah chapter 60, but maybe I'll do that another time, because this is a vast subject, and it's something that's really for exaltation and encouragement. Right? Nothing in this world is worth losing our crown. Right? Maybe that'll be the next second portion. Nothing in this world is worth losing our crown. Right? Nothing in this world is worth giving up our hope and our salvation and faith for. Nothing. Not your children, not your woman, not your job, not your accolades, not your house, not your car, nothing. Esau cannot give us anything that's comparable to the kingdom of heaven. He can't. It ain't for him to give it to us. And that's coming from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You see? So, yeah, brothers, this has been, I know it's been an hour. That was quick. An hour. It's worth waiting for the kingdom, right? It is worth waiting for the kingdom. It definitely is, bro. And the kingdom is coming because the kingdom is already here. It's in us. I'll end it off with that. The kingdom is within you. Yep. This is the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 21. Luke 17, verse 21. Yep. It says what? Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you. It starts with the elect. The kingdom of the Most High starts with the elect. And we just waiting to get our transformation and to be coordinated and to be elevated into rulership. Yahushua got to get his first, and then we're going to get ours. And the NLT says you won't be able to say here it is or lo or it's over there, for the kingdom of the Most High is already among you, man. It's already among you, because it says in the AMP, nor will people say, look, here it is or there it is, for the kingdom of the Most High is among you because of my presence, man. And it starts with this truth. So yeah, man, definitely the kingdom is something waiting for, because we're gonna get put into that rulership. So I hope you are edified with that. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem and Kakodash. And say give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect. Keep pushing, keep striving. We almost out of here. Hey, shalom, brothers. Shalom.